Hi, I'm Mary Brody, and I'm the author of Revenue or Relationships Win Both. So what are some approaches that you can use to discover opportunities for your customers and influencers to be more involved with your company and contribute to its success? Well, one way is to start by understanding what your most loyal customers and influencers are doing today. That knowledge may spark ideas regarding the possible roles and opportunities that you could create for them within a formalized program. So let's look at some ways that you can easily discover what your customers and influencers are doing now. First, analyze comment and review sentiments. Are their customers and influencers speaking positively about your company? Or are their reviews and comments seemingly trashing your product? Now, criticism may be considered positive if it's constructive, and that is consistent with this group providing your company input and feedback to succeed. Leverage approaches from the accountability content analysis videos so you can do a content analysis on your customer product reviews and comments to discover what exactly is being said. Understanding the sentiment and nature of the review may change how you see your influencers and customers. Their willingness to provide unsolicited suggestions and ideas imply that they would be more active in your company community if you gave them the opportunity to do so. Now, in forums and in social media, discover if they contribute when asked. Do they contribute when asked as a group or only when asked individually? Are they inspired to contribute on their own? What are their motivations for action? Once you understand how you can best activate and engage them, you can design programs that involve them in your company community, and it will help you define a role for them to help your organization and other customers. Also review their frequency of engagement. How often do they participate in social media and in forums? This frequency analysis will help you understand their loyalty and commitment to help your company. As stated in the previous video, more frequent connection indicates strong loyalty. And in this case, wanting to help others indicates not just connection to the brand, but to the company community and seeing others succeed using your product. That's powerful and should be encouraged and rewarded. Now, based on the content of their responses, learn if they support your community as well as your company. Do they follow up on conversations, or do they just provide an answer and leave? Do they care if the other person got the information that they needed? How committed are they to their colleagues' success? How much are they willing to contribute to that? This information signals their commitment not just to the company's success, but the community's success. And if you observe this and can encourage it, that will help build community and help you identify leaders who can help you spread the word. Discover if they participate in conversations from the heart. Do they provide deep advice and personal experience, or do they provide high-level feedback and end there? Deep advice and personal experience with emotional expression will allow people to connect emotionally with the author and with the brand. Identify the individuals who do this, map them to a persona, and find more people like them. And of course, encourage everyone to keep sharing. Learn if they share experiences. Do they come to events alone or with friends and colleagues? As indicated in a previous video, bringing people to experience a product or service is a sign of loyalty. They want to share their experience with others. Determine who does this most often and identify ways to encourage them to continue this behavior. Discover their engagement patterns online with your company and with others. Do they engage with their friends on social media and other digital communication areas? This is a sign of loyalty. Engagement and loyalty are very closely related. Great engagement indicates trust and the desire to build a relationship. Loyalty requires trust. Again, encourage this. Reflect on their informal role with your company. Do you debate hiring them because you see them as part of the team? That's always the sign of a loyal customer. You can see them working for your company because in many ways, they already are. So here are some examples of programs and activities that other companies have included in their operations to build a customer and influencer community. You could include similar programs in your company as is, or use this list as a starting point to brainstorm new ideas. With data about what your customers and influencers do today with the ideas in this list, you're well on your way to create your own unique programs that will increase engagement and build stronger loyalty. So let's get started. Here are some ideas that other companies have implemented to get a customer or influencer active. Create a social media influencer program to encourage members to share information about your company and their experience with your product. This is great for people motivated to get the word out about a great company or a great product that they support and to help people solve their problems. Meet with them quarterly or maybe twice each year to show them what they can use for content and new best practices. You may also give them ideas for unique content creation, from videos to blogs and more. Discover opportunities for them to jointly create content with your company. And this could be through videos, white papers, articles, or other types of content where your company works with them to not only expand their reach, but incorporate their perspective on a topic. It would be fun for them and for your company. The more the merrier when it comes to social media voices, and everyone loves new voices. Create a special group in your company's online forum to recognize your customers' contributions. They earned it. They are amateur experts in your product and are already helping your customers. That's their motivation here, to be helpful. Might as well recognize them for it, increase their engagement, and make them a closer member of your company's community. And once they're formally recognized, they may contribute and engage more, especially if you offer them additional compensation, like opportunities to meet key employees and key executives, to create content and participate at events, and offer other interactions with your employees and within your company. Get them to share their stories about your company and your brand. They can share stories by presenting at a conference, or video, or in a webinar, or in some other way. If they share a story about how they found your company and solution, why they chose it, and how it was implemented, and they share the emotional impact that that solution had on them, encourage them to participate in your sales meetings and presentations. Make sure they share more than the time and cost savings. They need to share how they felt once that problem was solved, as well as its tangible benefit, both personally and professionally. Alternatively, encourage them to share on a stage with other prospects and customers. Listen to how they use your product and get their ideas for improvements and refinements. Note that this group includes natural storytellers and people who are motivated to share with others so that they can have a great experience too. Include them in a customer council. Gather their input, their insights, and their feedback. They probably would do it for free, but pay them with a lunch or a meal anyway, or a meeting with the CEO, or by interacting with your employees. Let them become part of your company community. They want to contribute to your success, and it's vital that they do, so let them. And they may become a stronger influencer during this process. Some companies encourage customers to suggest new features to include in a product or service through a type of forum, and this often includes voting, so people can indicate which features are more important to them. So include this where you can, so customers can indicate what they would like to see your product do in the future and feel that they're part of your solution. When you offer this, make sure to implement some of their ideas and include them in your company's product roadmap. Even call out who specifically made that suggestion. Make that information as public as possible so customers know that you do consider their suggestions. That will encourage greater contribution. Some won't contribute if they assume that their ideas just won't be used. And if customers frequently provide great ideas for new features, reward them for that work so they keep up that great work. It also shows others that you value great suggestions, so that by itself will invite more contributions from a larger group. Surveys and focus groups. When Apple sent me a customer survey to get my opinions about their products, I was swooning. At the time, this was a new idea for them, but I got to voice my opinion and provide input into what they made. I felt included and important to them. LinkedIn has an advisory council that does this with select paying customers, or at least that's what they tell me. I feel included and closer to the brand when I get those emails. They invite me to be involved in their company by soliciting that feedback, and my motivation to participate is to feel that I'm part of something larger than myself. Customer days are a great way to encourage customers to give input, feedback, and suggest product ideas. I went to one with colleagues years ago for a marketing automation product, and we gave feedback on the roadmap, ideas for new features, and got to know more staff than the salesperson that we worked with regularly, and we felt included in their process. If we knew what they did with our feedback, that would have been ideal. But either way, we felt closer to them after that experience. We felt that we could more openly ask questions and request unique features that would improve the product for our needs. And come to find out, the unique features that we wanted, they weren't so unique. Many other customers there wanted them too. We felt heard and that we belonged in that larger company community. Include customers in your projects and competitions so that they can be part of your company's success. Literally. By including customers this way, you're making space for them to contribute to your company's success in a very tangible way. And if you win an award, their work directly contributed to that success. You're in it together and can see how together you can go further than alone. That's very powerful and very motivating. Hackathons. This is a great way to get younger customers engaged if you have a software or consumer product. Encourage prospects to get creative in using your product. You may discover new ways in that your product or service can benefit your market, or how it solves a new problem. It's a great way to expand your reach and get exposure to a different audience. And it's a great way to discover new creative talent who is motivated to make a difference. You can also create a prize program to reward customers for their efforts in using your product in new ways. Companies that host their own conferences often offer an award ceremony for such competitions, and such award ceremonies often become the conference highlight. This definitely builds community for your users. They not only meet each other and have the opportunity to build relationships with each other, but they're able to see how to best use the product and get inspired to use it better themselves. They feel more able to achieve success because they see that model of success on stage. The winners become a type of super user to guide others to be just like them. People are motivated not just to compete, but to share their success with other customers. Now, what all of these suggestions have in common is someone created a special group for these customers and influencers to be part of, a type of community with expert privileges where they can contribute and belong with other employees and each other. And in all cases, these activities help them feel like they're part of your company. And that trust and connection builds loyalty. You can measure your customers' and influencers' loyalty traditionally through referrals and purchases, and those are definitely more transactional. Or you could expand your view to include their relationship with your company by analyzing their conversations and activities. You gather a lot of information this way to understand what they do, what appeals to them, and how they describe your company or products to their networks. I included a few approaches earlier for these measurements, but there are definitely more approaches that you could use to better understand how your prospects and customers see your company. Now, you could map this analysis to your company's bottom line and discover if such loyalty activities are influencing an increase in revenue. They should be. But if not, here are a few things that you might want to consider. Your loyal customers may not be the target you communicate with regularly. Reevaluate your marketing materials and review them with your loyal customers to get their feedback. You will most likely need to make edits. Your solution may not solve the problem that you think it does. Talk to your customers and discover what they perceive your solution to do. Work on some case studies and discover where the communication breakdown is happening. You may have saturated your market and you need a new approach to expand your reach or a new solution to offer. Consider your company's market saturation in the traditional sense. you know your company's market size and market share versus your competitors. Which company has the most versus which company has the least? Is there untapped market share to be had? You may discover that your market is maxed out by both your company and its competitors. Then you could look at the market in a different way. What problems are your competitors solving versus what your company is solving? You may notice that your competitors solve a slightly different problem than you do, so they aren't technically your competitors. This may free your company to identify a new market with personas that are more aligned to the solution that you offer. This market may include fewer or different competitors, providing an opportunity for you to build better customer relationships. Now, you may also want to analyze who your loyal customers are versus the ones who don't have that level of loyalty. What are their behaviors? Is their relationship with your brand loose or is it tight? Would they quickly move somewhere else? See if you can ask such questions to loyal competitor customers. It may be worth considering that you may have reached market saturation regarding brand loyalty and the associated connections through customer relationships. Your competitors' customer relationships may be so strong that their customers would never change brands or solutions. So, some questions you may want to ask about your customers, prospects, and markets. Are prospective customers and influencers open to changing brand loyalty to include another company? Or is there a relationship lock-in of some nature due to the product or monetary investment? If either the main product is expensive, or repairs are less than the cost of a replacement, or there is the case of refills keeping customers returning, it'll be hard to break the existing relationship. For a service, are there personal relationships to consider? Those will never be disrupted. Can your company identify a way to interrupt the decision-making process to build a new relationship? If this isn't possible, then it may be time to consider offering a new product or service. Is a decision ever final in your area or industry? If it is, then you need to investigate new revenue opportunities. And if not, then see where you can disrupt relationships or form new ones. Now, back to your company's product. Can it solve a different problem or multiple customer problems? A product can always solve a new problem. Ask your customers how they use your product and maybe start promoting new uses to broaden your target market. You'll attract new personas and expand your sales and reach. The bottom line here, if you can't find new opportunities to build a customer relationship or introduce your company or product or service to a new audience, you will need to discover a new market or product use. And if you can't do that, you may need to expand your product line for growth. Now, if you have high customer turnover, then you can interpret that as meaning that you don't have customer commitment, and yes, you need to change that right away. Notice what is happening before such customers leave. The video, 6 Signs That Your Employees May Not Be Currently Capable of Creating a Relationship with Customers, addresses this. If customers are leaving and not coming back, find out what happened before this departure. These customers won't talk to you, but if you look at their records or activity, you may notice a trend like you contacted them too much, not enough, or you didn't solve their true problems. If you don't have influencers, you may discover that you aren't talking to the right people, or if you are, you aren't speaking to them in the right words or the right tone. You may discover that your employees aren't reacting or respecting your customers properly, and you will need to work with them to turn that around so they feel compassion for customers. Usually that is the bottom line problem to solve. Make sure that your employees love your customers and feel compassion for them. It's only then that they will solve their problems. Now, you may notice many customers attending events and engage with your company in social media, but they're not buying. That could be due to price lock-in with current vendors. They're currently dissatisfied and curious what is out there as a replacement. They may not want to jump to commit to a new vendor, but they want to be ready to move if the cost, mainly long-term savings, timing, and emotional impact are right. There may be other reasons for this too. Take some time and do some research to discover why you have engaged loyal influencers and fans and not have corresponding sales. Those two should correspond and influence each other. Now, if you have high loyalty, you should have high accountability and engagement with high revenue. And if one is missing, that will impact what is happening to the bottom line. If your company has low accountability, you will need to improve that because it has a direct impact on revenue. If your company is not accountable to its customers, word will get out and customers won't buy from your company, impacting revenue. High engagement and loyalty don't correlate with low revenue. If one is happening, research why. One answer may be that your competitors are locking in customers or the product is a high price, so it's hard for customers to move after such an investment unless moving solutions is compelling monetarily for long-term savings or emotionally. Low engagement and loyalty with high revenues indicates that higher engagement will further increase revenue, and low engagement and low loyalty do correlate to low revenues. That is expected. You'll need to increase engagement and loyalty to change your revenue numbers. However, you'll need to research why this is happening through your metrics, focus groups, surveys, or content analysis on social media posts or customer service calls. The answers are always surprising. As we have seen through these videos, customer loyalty can be communicated to your company by customers in more ways than referrals and purchases. There are many conversations your customers have with your company, other customers, and prospects that can influence buyer decisions. But you want to know what's happening out there. So to understand if you have a truly loyal prospect, customer, or influencer, you need to look at different aspects of these conversations happening and how you are being represented by them. Are you being presented as a great company with a solid solution? Do your customers like your ideas but find your solutions not up to par? This may help you better understand it and build better relationships with your customers. Don't be afraid of the data, it's your friend. With it, you can discover what your customers and influencers are doing, identify trends and opportunities, and find a way to leverage that. Customers always want to engage with companies. It's your job to figure out how to best engage with them first so you can build loyalty over time and create a wonderful customer relationship. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much and have a great day.